individual throttle bodies. Shark nose. We just received BMW M635 CSI, and that is basically the first M6 ever built, and therefore very special indeed. And our task with this car is completely preserving it, so we're gonna make it as nice as we can without restoring it. So the complete underbody, engine bay, interior, exterior, we're gonna fix it up and preserving it, protecting it for the future. I already looked at the underside very quickly. It is very dirty looking. So the car now has 111,000 kilometers on the clock. And what I can see, it has never been cleaned from the underside. So we don't know what's all underneath all the dirt. So maybe a very bad car is hiding underneath all that dirt, or an absolute gem. So let's find out and put it on lift. So we just cleaned the complete underbody and protected it, and it came out absolutely mind-blowing, and I did not expect it to become this nice. And you never know. You never know what you find underneath all that dirt.
Don't need to dress up to look beautiful. A girl of your nature is unusual. Your father don't like me, says I'm unsuitable, but he doesn't know me like you. I treat you like a princess. I would spend my last time, all my love and affection.
So it's time to polish now. The paint is actually very thin. We did some measurements as well, and we have to be very careful, so we don't want to go too far. We have to preserve the car and make sure that the owner can also polish the car later in his life once again. So far as I know, 5,855 cars are built, but not many in this color, which makes this car very, very collectible. This color is called BMW Samragt Grün Metallic. I guess I do not pronounce this correctly, but cool part is that the interior is also green, blocked green cloth interior, and that is, in my opinion, the coolest thing about the complete car. Sport seats in these blocked green cloth seats, completely green carpet, dash, everything green, with the green paint. It is absolutely stunning in my opinion and super collectible. So as I just said, the name of this car is M635 CSI. Quite a long name actually, but in the US they call it the M6. Much better name in my opinion, and why they use this longer name in Europe, I have absolutely no clue. But what I do know is that M6 was the better name because they still use it until today. So and then we have the engine, which is actually the most important part of this car. 3.5 inline 6-cylinder engine. And we actually had two versions of this. The European and the US car had two different types of engine. The US cars had an S38 engine, and they had 260 brake horsepower. And the European version had the M88/3 engine with 286 brake horsepower. So the name of this European version engine is M88, and the M88 engine was first used in the BMW M1. And for the name of the engine you had M88/1, that was for the Pro car, and then you had /2, that was basically a turbo engine. And the turbo engine had actually 910 brake horsepower. I saw these engines with a lot of mileage, so these are quite reliable and can handle a lot of horsepower. So here you see the individual throttle bodies, and normally you have only one. The downside, if you only have one throttle body, is that the engine will respond much slower. So the air mixture will go directly in the cylinder, which gives a much faster response time. And if you pull in the gas, you operate this, and then you see these then go open and close. But there's something else very unusual about this car. I just said the European spec cars had 286 brake horsepower. However, this one has 260. This is one of the later cars that are built, and these had catalytic converters built into them, and therefore they had only 260 brake horsepower. In this case we have a European spec car, an M88 engine with throttle bodies with 260 brake horsepower. The coolest part of this M6 is this shark nose. So this is something that you don't see that much. The original wheels with original TRX Michelin tires on it. Very rare and expensive to buy, and what you see quite often is that they switch them out with other wheels where they can get easy tires for, where they get cheap tires for. So this is something you don't see that often. So when we open the boot, we actually see a battery. And for all M-Motorsport cars 6 Series, they put the battery in the back for weight distribution. And if you buy a BMW, the most important part is checking this. Every buyer who is going to buy an all BMW is doing this. So always check the tool set if everything is there, because that's very important for the BMW guys.